Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tyler's Fishing Post. We're out here at the pool, and we got Gino Losi out here. We are out here at CPF Lures, y'all. Go check them out. Link in the description. Like, they got so many baits, and we're gonna show y'all what they look like under the water today.
I've been working with them since January 21st, and I have a ton of respect for Chuck Pippen. He's probably one of the best bass guides in North America. Definitely one of the most well-known bass guides in North America. And he's been working on these for a long time. I started using them, the last week of January, and I've guided with them on Toho, I've guided with them on Yale, I've guided with them on the Harris Chain, I've guided with them on Clear Lake in Orlando, I've guided with them on the St. Johns River, I've competed with them, and I have not said anything to anybody about them at all. I really wanted to use them and put them to the test and spend some time with them on the water before I felt like, oh, you guys should check these baits out. You should check.
For sure.
My first take on them when I first seen them, I was like, man, that is kind of pricey for their floating speed worm, right? It's a lot more than what I'm used to paying, but you're buying 5-6 lures. You're not buying 6 worms. These baits last forever.
Super tough plastic. So, like, it'll last you like 5 to 10 fish catches.
Yeah, don't go buying 10 boxes of these. It'll take you a lifetime to use.
Yeah, just one.
Box, and you're good to go.
And here, a floating speed worm. Take one of them out, throw it on the pool right there. You ready?
Let's have a
just kind of like right in front.
And she's up.
Look at that, y'all! A floating speed worm.
Just not gonna happen.
And and it's awesome for like Carolina rigs, Texas rig. It's just like it floats. A floating speed worm.
It is like the material.
Yes, it's so thick.
Way different than what you're used to.
It's legit.
But it's not like. It's not gonna be like Z-Man, where you're trying to get on your worm, you can't get on the worm. It's like It's not like that. This is something different than you've probably ever put in your hand. These things are legit and look absolutely amazing underwater, and they flat out catch fish. I could care less if it looks cool underwater. If it doesn't catch fish, it's worthless to me.
For sure.
But they catch fish. They last a long time. As a guide for me, like plastic is one of my biggest expenses. So if I can save a little bit of money on plastics and catch more fish, I'm in there like swimwear, guys. And this stuff is super legit.
Yeah, also that Pippinator is pretty fire. It's pretty fire.
Yeah, so here's what's dope about the Pippinator to me, right? So you take this particular worm and you look at a Magnum trick worm, anybody else's Magnum trick worm, it's gonna have way more mass to it, right? And it's gonna have way less action. This worm has a ton of action underwater, and guess what? These fish have not seen it, right? There's way less people using it. Everybody's throwing zoom, everybody's throwing bitters. Nobody's throwing these baits yet. There's a handful of guys that are throwing them, and they found success with them. And it is completely different. And the action's different, and it looks different to the fish. If I'll just say, like, after a fish has got stung by a bait, it's 6 weeks before he wants to touch that same bait again. Guess what? If Bob went down the riverbank before you did, and he missed one on a Zoom mag, and you come back with the old Pippinator, that's a different look to them, and they will absolutely throttle it. Great plastic, lasts longer, catch more fish on them. The worms I was using before, one and done. You will catch multiple fish on these worms. It is super awesome, man. Super great. I can't say enough about them.
Yeah, I literally caught like a bunch of fish on them on a 5-pounder like a week ago. Like, we got all these baits to try. We got swim baits, we got trick worms, we got Ned rigs. Look at that. We got, y'all, this color, the sunfish color, I cannot tell you. Like, I cannot say enough. The sunfish color is insane. It's like, what is that? It's like black and blue and then like orange on one side.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I watched Tyler catch one of the biggest fish, lose one of the biggest fish I've seen all year on that color. That is the juice. And they love that color on Toho. They love it on Kissimmee, and they love it on the Harris Chain, guys.
Swim jig or just a swim bait by itself. Oh, it's just phenomenal.
Fire. Yeah, and you put on a clinic with their shad color.
The shad color too, y'all. The
it's on the bait right here.
Oh, it's right there. Yes, the shad. Yeah, let's show them what the shad looks like real quick.
I showed up with this shad color and absolutely put on a clinic with this thing.
Oh gosh.
It is absolute money. The thing with the Ditto swimmer, they call it the Ditto because everybody's got one, right? It looks like a Kitech or a Strike King, but I can tell you the plastic they use is premium. The downside, I love the Kitechs. The downside of the Kitech, they're one fish and done, and they're $1 something a piece. This has way better quality, so you're gonna be able to catch multiple fish on it. But at a very slow retrieve speed, I'm gonna creep this along. I have a 6:2 to 1 gear ratio, and you can see that boot is absolutely cranking. Left to right, the bait doesn't wanna roll. It sits beautifully on, this is a Gambler Goat jig head. It looks absolutely amazing on that thing.
That action's insane.
Yep, it holds to the bottom. I'm gonna let that bait sink to the bottom. This is just a 1/4 ounce jig head. But it's not too buoyant. You don't want that bait to be so buoyant that it won't stick to the bottom. And you know, this is the speed I reel my swim baits along. This thing is pegged to the bottom, sitting there.
Man, that tail is just still,
That thing is
it's going,
incredible
it's
action
going.
to it.
It's legit, y'all. I love that swim bait. It's awesome.
They don't have 1,000 colors because you don't need 1,000 colors.
Yeah,
You need
honestly.
some that mimic bluegill, some that mimic shad, and some solid colors when you're dealing with stained water.
For sure. Gino, check out, okay, look at this. For the people, y'all, this is what the floating speedworm gets you. Look at that. Look at that. Here, do you have a different speedworm on?
I do have a different.
Yeah, the zoom right there.
Ooh, low zoom.
Oh yeah, yo, this is the difference between the floating speedworm and the zoom speedworm. If you want to drop that right next to the camera right here.
Yeah, number one, first and foremost, I'll tell you, these things are always misshapen. They're never square out of the package.
Yeah, you never
This is
get
square.
you never get the quality. Yeah, here, I'm gonna try to get that out of your way there. Oh.
Does that look fishy to you guys? It doesn't look very fishy.
Oh, flat. Look at that. It just immediately just whoop.
Yeah,
And look
there's
at that.
a huge difference.
Oh my goodness, y'all.
Also,
That's
like swimming this zoom, like it just does not swim as true as that bait. It's kind of all over the place and sloppy. And if you slow down, you don't get much action from the tail. That thing is freaking ripping right out the gate. Just 1,000 times better.
yeah, y'all. These
And
baits.
again, the quality.
Yeah, quality is a big thing.
This is
Honestly.
one and done, bro. One and done.
Yeah.
One time you catch one fish, she's done.
For
You
sure.
get hung up in the grass and pulled out, she's done. You're biting the head off. Now you got a 6-inch worm.
Yeah, it ain't good.
And,
It ain't good.
You know, that's a huge problem for me as a guide because, you know, I'm dealing with people that don't have as much experience. Their baits are going all over the place in people's docks and trees and
Yeah.
bushes, and the worms are ruined before they ever catch a fish on it. This thing will hold up.
Yeah, Gino's constantly like, oh here, let me change out your worm. Let me change out your worm.
Yeah.
Y'all, so we've covered the swim baits. We've covered their speed worms, freaking amazing. What else have we
They
got?
have two size trick worms.
Yeah, the
Pippin
pippinators.
Sixer, Pippinator.
This is 8-inch, and
Honestly, the Pippin Sixer, not a big fan on a Texas rig, right?
drop
It's
shot.
just a very small worm, but it is absolutely incredible on a drop shot. I mean, the action on that thing is phenomenal.
Oh,
That
oh,
thing quivers.
oh.
Quivers so beautifully,
That's insane.
right? That has an amazing action. That, for me, that's my new favorite drop shot worm. You know, and I heard from a couple other guys too, man. Like, we're gonna give it to you honest. I heard from a couple other guys, like, dude, Gino, I don't like the smaller worm on a Texas rig, and I was like, okay, well, it's got to have a place, right? So I put it on my drop shot rig, and I'm like, this thing is absolute fire. So I wanted to share that with you guys. For a Texas rig, you know, Pippinator, you're gonna think, oh man, it's a huge worm. It's really a small profile, so it doesn't matter what time of year that Pippinator is gonna work.
For
It's
sure.
a smaller profile trick worm for a Magnum worm. It's not like the Mag Zoom that's got a bunch of mass to it. You can fish that thing year round, catch fish on it. If you need something for a drop shot, check out the Pippin Sixer. Super legit.
Yeah, and
Awesome
even
looking.
like for finesse worm in a canal, because like we used to always throw finesse worms in canals on a super tiny lightweight Texas rig style, tiny hook, and we'd just be skipping underneath docks and just working it like you would just like a normal Texas rig. And we have caught fish on finesse worms in canals mostly. Throwing finesse worms like that, the 6-inch is perfect for that. So if you do a lot of canal fishing and a lot of like finesse type fishing, drop shotting, then the Pippinator 6-inch is for you. And also the Pippin Sixer, yeah, there it is. And the PB&J color, y'all. I went through the entire bag of PB&J. That's the color. That's where it's at.
Here's the deal.
That's where it's at.
I was at the mouth of Dead River and with a customer, we throttled the fish. Tyler comes over and I'd like cycle through all my baits and they were over it. They're like, Gino, we're done with you, bro.
Yeah.
Tyler pulls
Oh
out
man.
that PB&J and put the smack down on me.
A Carolina
Made me feel
rig.
terrible. I
just
had
dragging
0
it.
left in my boat. I had none of that color. And I had no more Pippinators left. And I'm
I
like,
went through the whole bag.
I'll just sit here and watch you fumble with the net, Tyler.
Oh yeah, y'all saw that video. Don't even get me started with that one. But yeah, now we
That PB&J is that fire.
have we tried the flukes yet? We haven't tried the flukes yet.
I
Look
have,
at these.
listen, so
Little fluke. Oh, that's a sweet
these
color.
flukes, with the fluke, the first time you put a hook in one of their flukes, you're gonna be able to tell the difference immediately. of the quality of plastic. This is not your typical, and what is it called? It's not even called a fluke.
It's called a Shad Jerk Pro.
Shad Jerk Pro, right? So soft plastic jerk bait. We'll call it that, right?
For sure.
It's not your typical soft plastic jerk bait. I've used flukes for a lifetime from Zoom and loved them. This is it's a completely different animal. It has way more action to it. In clear water situation, that's going to be crucial. In the situation where you don't want to waste a ton of money, you're going to catch more fish on these. It's not a one fish bait, one hit wonder. That action.
It looks like a jerk bait. Like, look at it darting
so
from.
Saucy.
Oh, y'all.
That's a pretty heavy line for a
y'all.
fluke. You know, that's 15-pound test.
1,000 likes and I'll put bass in this pool and we'll get the reaction. I'm just kidding. That would be.
I don't know. That'd be animal cruelty.
Yeah, it would. Probably illegal somewhere. I don't know, but.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so saucy. Y'all. We got to talk about their electric bluegill color. What? Look at that.
Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
There's
Cincos.
two things I look for when I'm looking for a stick bait, right? Whether I can flip it, whether I can wacky rig it, and so three things. I need to know the durability, right? Which is going to kind of go into the first two. So there's certain Cincos that you can flip with, and they're not going to come apart on you. And those Cincos typically do not look good on a wacky rig. They don't have the action, but they have the durability. So I'm usually having to carry two different brands, and you know, fall rate's obviously another big deal. So with this particular Cinco, I feel like, you know, Chuck with CPF, he really hit it on the head. This thing is much more durable than the original, the OG, the Yamamoto. It has a great fall rate, but it can be flipped. 100% it has the durability to be flipped. I've used it. Check out how much this thing oscillates. Check out the fall rate on this particular Cinco underwater.
Ooh, y'all. Look at that.
Look at it just quiver on the way down.
It's okay, y'all. If you're fishing this weightless in canals and you're just fishing like a Cinco,
it's getting much.
you're gonna have to wait forever. You're literally gonna have to cast out there and you're gonna have to wait forever, which is awesome because if it goes in front of a bass, you're done. You're catching a fish. Like that is just fish all day.
You need that slower fall rate right there.
Yeah, I like how we have the Thumper Pro floating in the pool. We just have two Thumper Pros. I was like, wait, so why are those there again? I'm like, wait, what's going on there? But yeah, y'all, so they have Cincos that are phenomenal. You can flip with them, finesse fish with them. Like, look at that. Gino had it on a freaking like drop shot setup and it looked phenomenal.
Yeah, one and done. You don't need to carry two in your boat.
Yeah, plastic is so durable.
Let's have a look at this underwater for you.
Yeah, Texas rig, for sure, Texas rig.
Very common way to fish these baits here in Florida.
Yeah, we need to see the action with that. I need to save the Thumper Pros. Floating, the slow floating. Oh, save them. Save them. Oh, I almost had it. This is literally fishing at its finest. Oh! 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 Could I reach down and grab it? Yes. You want to do that?
Got it.
Y'all, we caught the fishing lure. So honestly, these baits were made so that it doesn't matter which way you rig it, the tail is still gonna have the same action, which is pretty sweet because Gino's always telling me, hey, with the Zoom, you have to rig it this way for this action, you have to rig it this way for that action.
Yeah.
And then I heard with these baits, it doesn't matter which way you rig it, it's gonna have the same action all the way around. So that is
Fact. And it is a
super
pain
cool.
in the butt to find the crease in a Zoom. Like, it drives me insane when it's super sunny out. And I tell my customers, they're always like, they see me staring at the bait and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, dude, if you rig this wrong, it's gonna run funny. It'll literally kick the tail out sideways. You'll kick it out the left side, kick it out the right side. You literally have to find the crease, put your hook on the seam, like where the molds come together, or it will not run right. This bait, throw your hook in it and go. It doesn't matter which way your hook's facing. It's gonna look amazing in the water. Go ahead and give her a whirl.
So this is the slow floating, so it doesn't float as good as the floating, but it does have some float to it. Oh, and Gino's got the curly tail on. Whew, I caught a fish on that the other day. It was freaking sweet.
Look at that ribbon tail.
Ribbon tail. I call it a curly tail.
For you youngins out there, they are ribbon tails.
Ribbon tails. Yeah, don't follow my example there, y'all. I set up all the GoPros. Gino's doing the fishing.
Look at that thing. I'm gonna swim it through there. You gotta see that action.
See the action on the ribbon tail worm. Oh, curly tail worm. That's sweet. Oh my gosh, y'all. So y'all, this is the Thumper Pro, so it doesn't float. Let's see the difference there. And see, it does, if you don't want a bait that floats, Thumper Pro is where it's at. It's gonna, the tail kind of floats there, y'all, if you see that. Yeah, it doesn't lay flat like the Zoom. That's true, because I literally just put it down there and the tail was still floating a little bit. So that's cool. So the Thumper Pro, the tail floats up a little bit, which is sweet. Has the same exact action. It's literally the exact same bait as the floating, slow floating. They're all exactly the same, except in the title, it's slow floating and floating.
Yeah, you will find that by my experience, the slow floating is a little less durable than the floating, but yet you still have that great quality to where it's true out of the package every time. You don't have misshapen baits. I can't stand when I open a pack of baits and I got 2 or 3 out of a 6-pack that are misshapen, and then they're at the bottom of the barrel, and then I gotta get it, and then I have this thing in my head like, oh, it doesn't look right. Dude, this shaky head.
Yeah, let's look at that shaky head action. I'm still throwing the Thumper Pro, and we got the floating in the pool floating.
I got the Pippinator on for the shaky. I'm gonna bring it closer.
Oh, Pippinator, 8-inch, 8-inch.
Yep, 8-incher.
Heck yeah, that's sweet. Yo, they also have flipping baits as well. I don't think we haven't covered the flipping baits.
Yeah, and I have less experience with this. Oh, look at that thing, dude.
Oh, oh.
Look at that.
It just,
Straight up and down, legit. Look at that. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Like that thing's getting munched.
Yo. Okay, y'all forget about like what we said about all the other baits. If you can get 1 pack of baits, get the Pippinator 8-inch. Get the Pippinators.
No, listen, my 2 favorite baits, my absolute favorite period, is the Pippinator.
The Pippinator is insane.
The reason why I love the Pippinator over all the other baits, it is ridiculously unique. There is not another mag trickworm that I've used that has that action, that quality, and that profile, right? Look at that thing. Look at that thing on the shaky head.
That is, oh, that's so saucy, y'all.
Quiver, dude. Look at that.
Y'all, and see, here's the thing, y'all, is we've been fishing with these baits for the past, probably, I'd say, month or so, and they're phenomenal baits. We've caught so many fish on them, and we wanted to catch a bunch of fish on them for you before we made a video showing you what they look like in the pool, the actions, the different baits, the colors they have. They have a bunch of different colors in every bait, like most of the standard colors, Jumbo Gray, Jumbo, Green Pumpkin, like all the baits that catch fish with not like any crazy looking colors that you've seen me throwing.
They taste delicious despite that.
They taste delicious? Oh, gee, do not eat them, but they taste delicious according to Gina. The Pippin 6er on the shaky head. Oh.
That was insane on that shaky head.
Yeah, some crazy action. I think we're gonna be throwing that a lot more. We're gonna be throwing that.
Give me some pumpkin heads.
Yeah, after seeing that, we're gonna have to.
Oh yeah.
That 6-inch is so saucy.
That's where I was going wrong with throwing on the Texas rig.
Okay, so if the people at home could buy 1 pack of baits, 1 color, I'd probably have to recommend the Pippinator. I feel like the 6-inch is better.
One color, they were gonna go like be able to fish clear and dark water. I'd go with the plum apple.
Plum apple for sure.
Plum apple and Pippinator. If I could just buy one, it'd be the plum apple Pippinator.
Yeah, that's all, and it's gonna literally last you. You probably catch out of 1 package of baits. What do you think? How many fish do you think that will catch? Like out of 1 pack?
A ton.
A ton. Like I can't even think of how many they would catch because
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So there's actually a video on YouTube. Fisher Smith Outdoors. He hired me to take him on a guide trip, and I took him on Toho, and I took him on Lake Yale. On Toho and on Yale, you'll see we throttle fish on a trickworm. That was on the Pippinator in plum apple. I promise you, if you've not thrown the Pippinator on Toho and plum apple, you are absolutely missing out. Like
all
it's
day.
Insane. We threw everything because I had 1 bag with me. I'm like, we got to make this last, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna give it to the customers and let them use that, and I'll fiddle with everything else. Dude, can't keep up. Throwing the same exact color in a different brand, not even close. Like that Pippinator smashed them. That bag of worms lasted us all day and then some. We still had plenty left in the pack and caught a ton of fish on them. They're freaking awesome, and you can see underwater why they work.
Yeah, that's freaking amazing. Y'all, they also have flipping baits. They have lizards. They have Ned rigs. Comment down below if you want to see a part 2 to the CPF lures underwater.
Yeah.
That was insane, y'all. Like some of the actions these baits have are insane. I will link them all down below if you want to go check them out. Like go check out their baits if you want to buy some. Remember, if you get 1 pack of baits, oh, and
listen,
and that
guys,
color, that's insane.
So from experience, guys,
that's insane.
Sunfish is the color in the 3-2 Ditto swimmer. That thing will crush it in tannic to clear water to green water. Like That's the sauce, guys. That is, and it's very unique. I have not seen this color in any other brand.
You want to put it on? Show them underwater? Yeah, we gotta show y'all. We can't
yeah.
talk about how amazing it is and not show you what it looks like underwater. It's, y'all, I've caught so many fish on that bait, like insane. I hopped in with Gage, y'all saw. We hopped in, we went out on the lake, and I was just fish, 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 and he's like, fish every once in a while, fish every once in a while. Not saying anything bad about Gage, but it's just like that bait, y'all, I was throwing that all day. I threw it like just as a regular swim bait. I put it on the back of a jig. Oh, y'all, it was phenomenal. Crushing fish left and right. They're feeding bluegill. They were just munched on the bluegill that day, and it looks just like a bluegill. It looks so saucy. There's no way you lost a rod. Gino's like, okay, yeah, Gino, I can understand losing a rod when you're out on a boat, but losing a rod on a pool?
Clear water, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. Well, y'all had to take a quick intermission from the camera overheating on me because it sucks. But hey, y'all, you got this crispy quality. So where were we at? Oh, that fire swim bait.
You gotta check that super sauce out, guys. This stuff is ridiculous. Sunfish is the name of the color.
Sunfish. I think I've been saying sungill, y'all, in the videos, but it's actually sunfish. Sorry if I.
Sunfish. Nobody makes this color that I'm aware of.
I've never seen it ever.
I've never seen it anywhere in any brand that I've used. The action is incredible, and you can take this and catch them in clean water and dirty water. So if you're like, gee, what's like the one swim bait I can buy from them that I can use anywhere, and that's the Ditto Swimmer 3.2 inch in Sunfish. You can catch them clear water to stained water, tannic water to that rich green, nutrient rich green colored water. They will eat it in 100%. I've got the time in. Is that our alarm?
Yeah. GoPros are done, y'all. Dang, that was.
That's everything. That's the ribbon tail. That's the Pippinator, the Pippin Sixer, the
Thumper Pro, slow floating. What else? The Fluke. We got the Fluke.
Which is not a fluke.
It's not a fluke. It's the Shad Jerk Pro. Shad Jerk Pro. Booyah.
5.5 Stickler Pro.
Yes, that's saucy.
That's their stick bait.
Electric bluegill.
Saucy.
That's the color. Electric bluegill. And that's an awesome name for it, too. Electric bluegill. Freaking sweet.
We showed you on the shaky head, drop shot.
We got it all covered.
Hopefully you guys get a good look at these baits. They're definitely worth a second look. I've waited a long time to do this. Like I said, the last week of January is when I started working with these baits, and I've kept my mouth shut until I got enough experience in. I do not want to recommend, and you guys have seen I don't recommend a bunch of products. That's something you guys got to try out. You got to check it out.
It's legit, y'all. So thank you so much for watching. Go check out CPF down below. Go subscribe to Gino down below. You're almost at 1,000 subs. You need to get to 1,000 subs.
So close. Come get
so
me
close.
907.
Oh, no. Y'all, I got to subscribe. You're so close to 1,000. Get him to 1,000.
Good boy.
And yeah, y'all, that's some freaking fire baits. I'm so glad I was able to show you all these baits. I've been super stoked about them since I started fishing with them, and I was like, y'all, I gotta show you what these baits are looking like. And y'all have seen I've been catching fish on them. They're amazing baits. Go check them out down below. Thank you so much for watching another daily video, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.